We are delighted now to be joined by the Director of Admissions at Oakland University, Shane Lewis. Shane, nice setup there on Zoom. We can see you. How you doing today?
Thank you. Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So can you talk a little bit about that letter? I assume you are directly in the middle of what we were just talking about. Can you talk about that letter that was sent out?
Absolutely. I think, we're working with a lot of students whose lives have been upended over the last couple of months and who are wondering both what we're doing to prepare, I think, for their eventual arrival on campus and what we're doing to support them between now and then. And we thought it was important to get that letter out to the communities to let them know that we're thinking about them, we're preparing for them, we're here for them, and we're making accommodations to try to support their eventual enrollment in school whenever they decide that that makes the most sense for them.
Shane Lewis, do you expect at Oakland University and to your peers, admission folks at universities around the state, expect that you're going to see smaller numbers in the fall?
I think it's honestly a little too early to tell. As a country, I think we're still dealing with how long will these stay-at-home orders last? When will we feel comfortable being in spaces with larger groups of people again? So I do think it's a bit too early to tell. We are concerned that students are going to choose not to enroll, to perhaps take a gap year or even a gap semester. And we definitely will, honor that choice should students make that. But we, again, want them to know that we're prepared to have them still enroll this fall. And we're going to be making accommodations, to support the guidelines from the government, just to make sure that we're maintaining the safety of our community and our campus, our students, faculty, and staff.
We have the hardest working producers in all of media working on this show, and they give me these wonderful notes here, and it says right under your name, Oakland University has gone test optional for admission criteria for this fall and is needed going forward. Can you explain exactly what that means, why you did it, and what that's all about?
Absolutely. So we have decided to move to test optional admission both for the fall of 2020 and the fall of 2021. And there are really two different populations we're working with right now. So you have the high school seniors who are getting ready to graduate, who are either not able to take a test if they've never had the opportunity to take the ACT or SAT college entrance exams, or those who never had the opportunity to retest, to retake those exams because of the cancellation of them beginning in March through basically August of this year. And so in light of that information, we decided it was important to offer test optional admission for this fall, the incoming class of 2020. Additionally, for the high school juniors, the rising seniors who are getting ready to start their senior year this fall, typically in April, we'd have the statewide administration of the SAT in schools. Clearly, that has been canceled as the in-person instruction in schools has now ended for the year. And that exam is not scheduled to take place until now fall, likely sometime in October. And so for that perspective, we want to remove a barrier to students, a concern that students have about when they're going to be able to hear back from colleges. If that exam is not administered until October, the earliest that we would receive test scores would be November or December, which means those students wouldn't be getting their admission decisions until much later into their senior year. And so by removing that barrier, that test requirement for us for the fall of 21, we're allowing students to still begin that college application process just as they would have any other year. Our application at Oakland launches every year on July 1st for the following fall. And so students are able to still apply on time, get their admission decisions in early September, and be able to have that full array of choices, those college choices out in front of them early enough in their senior year that they feel they have time to make those decisions and find which institution is the best fit for them.
Very well explained. Shane Lewis, Director of Admissions at Oakland University. So does that mean you're going to weigh heavier on the other information that you have from students, the information you do have available, grades from high school and other typical things that would be on an admissions form going to school?
Yes, we're going to rely heavily on the academic preparation of the students. So that would be as exhibited in their high school cumulative grade point average. And we have data at Oakland to suggest that grade point average is a good predictor of college success. And so we're simply going to use that information as well as the rigor of the coursework, whether that includes any honors work, advanced placement, or international baccalaureate coursework as well.
He is Shane Lewis, the Director of Admissions at Oakland University. I'm Dave Scott in our Lakes FM studios. Tyler Keefe over there, hard at work. And we thank you for joining us wherever you happen to be on one of our many radio stations, including WAHS, which is right down the road from your campus, Shane, or the Biff in Bloomfield Hills, or Lakes FM. Now, this is a good place for you to be as an admissions guy, because we are live right now on the Facebook page of Walled Lake Schools, so there's another big audience. But, maybe this in some way is going to work out. He waves. Maybe this is going to work out well. Do you expect, do you have any thoughts about students that might otherwise be going to Lansing or to Ann Arbor or Grand Valley, somewhere else in the state, or maybe even out of state, might want to stay at home with mom and dad and be here a little bit closer to home, these students that are in our area school district? So you have any thoughts about that?
That's entirely a possibility. And, I think it's a little early for families to have made those decisions, but the summer is approaching. And so I think those conversations will be happening now in homes. And I would not be surprised if more students from the area wanted to stay closer to home. And, we're an excellent option here in Oakland County. And again, we welcome students. Our application is still open for the fall. So if they're still interested, we're also, another accommodation we're making to support students for this fall is that we are continuing to award new student scholarships and need-based financial aid up until the start of fall classes. So typically we would have an earlier priority deadline for our scholarships, and we've relaxed that for this year.
How is I assume you have been engaged in some virtual learning, as everyone else has this spring. How's that been going, and do you plan to continue to make that kind of virtual curriculum available through the fall if needed?
Yes, from what we've been hearing from at least our student employees, our admissions ambassadors, is that they've been having a good experience. I think it was a kind of a hasty jump to a lot of remote learning from students who are used to in-class instruction, but I think our faculty have been doing a phenomenal job of trying to transition that coursework to that remote environment. And we've already transitioned all of our summer 1 term, which is the term that begins in a couple of weeks and runs through the end of June. That term will also be entirely remote. And so conversations are happening at the university about what that might look like moving forward. It will all depend on the guidance that comes out of the government in terms of what they recommend for our safety. And in terms of some of the virtual events that we've been doing in admissions, I think we've had an excellent opportunity to use things like WebEx and Google Hangouts to connect with students and still be able to meet with families. We're hosting presentations online and having that opportunity, again, to get face-to-face still, although virtually, with students who are in the midst of making that college decision choice right now.
All right, Shane. Well, I appreciate you being with us. Shane Lewis, he is the Director of Admissions at Oakland University, and kudos to your colleagues at Oakland University. You've been doing a good job with helping out with the coronavirus crisis in our county with food distribution and a lot of other great programs that are going on. I know that faculty, students, and other people from the community have been utilizing the resources at Oakland University to help people during this crisis, and we applaud all of that going on. Anything else we need to? Wait a minute. What about Oakland University basketball? We don't know if we're gonna have basketball in the fall, do we?
We don't. No, I think that's another thing that's kind of up in the air. Again, what will the guidelines recommend, and what will, I think, people be comfortable to do? Will they want to go to basketball games in the fall? We'll have to see.
All right, listen, we have 3 radio stations on our broadcast. We could add WXOU, by the way, your great radio station there on campus, to the MegaCast. Tyler, we didn't even pick up the phone and call those guys.
Oh,
so
should.
All right, so I don't know what's going on over there at the radio station, but you can drop our name there, Shane, if you want. All right, we'll give him a call.
I will. Okay.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Anything else you want to share with us today?
No, I think, again, just know that, for students who are considering college choice for this fall, know that all of us as institutions here in the state of Michigan are here for you, anytime as you're making that decision. We want to make sure that we're supporting you in not only making that college choice, but making sure that you're making the decisions that make the most sense for you and your family. And know that we're another support network for you, in addition to clearly your high school counselors and teachers as well. So we want to make sure that you know that we're another support network.
And that you're already available now. People, we're not having dialogue with your universities. That's the real point of that letter. Have the conversation. Here are the contact numbers. Here are the emails. And if anyone can't get a hold of anybody and they want to get a hold of somebody, for goodness sakes, call us here at our studios and we'll get you connected. And I'm sure, Shane, if somebody wants to get a hold of even Michigan State or even Notre Dame or who knows where they want to go to school, even somewhere out of the state, I imagine a public university, private university, you probably have a Rolodex of some of those other folks' names as well, don't you?
I sure do.
All
I don't
right.
know if I'm wanting to share that.
No, I get it. You got a job to do, but everyone's helping out. Everyone's got to help out each other right now, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're all here for the same reason. We're in higher education for a reason, because we believe in the transformative power of education. And so, again, we're all here to support you.
I know you're there to help, but anyone who's going to call you is going to go to Oakland, so we don't have to worry about that. Shane, thank you very much. Appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you.
Shane Lewis, the Director of Admissions at Oakland University.